Now let me here play the devil's advocate almost literally. And
Yes.
what the great white fathers and mothers are telling you is that if only you were as wise as we are, you would see. I mean, we know there's a terrible problem with AIDS in Africa.
Yes.
And I assume that there are population problems. I don't know if I don't even know if that's so. Why is it a bad thing to bring in, say, contraception?
Okay, so what we have in Africa, honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but what we have in Africa is not a problem of overpopulation, but urbanization. So people have moved into cities, into the few cities in the country. So for example, in Nigeria, I can tell you that maybe 80% of the country live in 7 cities, and the rest of the country is completely empty because the schools, the hospitals, the basic amenities are found only in the cities or mainly in the cities, and job opportunities. So everyone goes in there and they form slums. People arrange themselves into these slums. And that's what CNN will capture. And so then they tell us you have an overpopulation problem. But that is not the issue. The point is, in order for something like contraception to take, the African people, first and foremost, have to be convinced that large families are not good things. So I'm from a family of 6 people. First, you're going to have to convince my mother that she should have had 4 instead of 6, right? But really, I have seen, large families in Africa who have done well. I have seen large families who haven't done well. But I've also seen small families that have not done well. That you have 3 children in Africa does not necessarily assure you that your 3 children are going to have food, water, clothing, right? So should they not have any children at all? Because African governments, we still have problems with them, problems of transparency. So when there are bigger families in Africa, as people would choose to have, it's not a must, but those bigger families then form communities, supporting communities for the people. So my elder siblings helped with raising of those of us who are the younger ones. And it happens like that, and we take care of our parents when they're old because we don't have old people's homes. What happens then when we start having the upside down family trees, when there are 4 grandparents or 2 parents, 1 child? It's incredible, but the African society is already arranged in this way. And that's how we hold ourselves in a resilient way, even through all our problems.
What about AIDS? I mean, is there a way? Is there an approach to the AIDS crisis in Africa that you would put forward that is different than this?
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, before I left Nigeria, I was actually working as a scientist in Nigeria. And part of what I had done was virology. And we worked with a lot of HIV people. So the scandal of HIV has if anyone would do any research, there is a man from Harvard University. Well, he used to be with Harvard before Harvard sacked him because he spoke the truth. His name is Professor Edward Green, who had written all these documents because he went out to Africa to study HIV and the spread of HIV and HIV prevention. And he was working in the southern parts of Africa. Now, he got to Uganda and he saw what had happened in Uganda, that the Ugandans the Ugandan government got involved and they tried to approach it with the ABC method. This thing they say, abstinence, be faithful, and then condoms if you can't, right? Mm-hmm. So, but the government was so much involved. They were going into schools, they were going into villages, they were telling people to be faithful to their wives, to try not to have multiple sex partners and all whatnot. But they were not relying on condoms. And even from what these few scientists that have been allowed to, as far as they've been allowed, they have said that Uganda is the one place in the world that has had the highest, the most remarkable reduction of HIV.
It was an amazingly, the ABC, abstinence, be faithful, and then condoms if you can. That was one of the most amazingly successful programs. And the liberals then came in and destroyed it, didn't they?
Oh, Andrew, they not only destroyed it, they shut down the Ugandan government. They shut him up. They went to President Museveni and his wife, and they made sure that they bought them out of that program. So I went to Uganda 7 months ago, and what did I see? There were all these, before this, there were all these billboards about, we're keeping ourselves from marriage, all these things that were preaching abstinence, preaching just one wife, preaching monogamy instead of polygamy. And those billboards are all down. Instead, what did I see? I saw life-size billboards that were sponsored by USAID. This was during the Obama regime, because this was sometime last year I went. And it was people saying things like, I'm in charge with my condom. Why don't we get down with the condom? I mean, this was all over Kampala. This was all over Entebbe. It was a scandal. And meanwhile, the scientists who have studied this say that the problem in throwing in so much condom at the same time into communities and societies is that people don't even use it right. They always fail. There are all these problems with it.
These billboards are up in LA too, and we are having a massive problem with young people, especially gay people who are getting sick, and they're the ones they send these advertisements to, basically making condoms like, now it's all going to be fine.